Hello adventurers, I'm Gray and welcome to an exciting new Hytale blog update. They're keeping up with one update a month, but there seems to be a further trend in that they keep releasing them about 2 days before the month ends. So I believe that they're going to come out probably near the end of each month, but that just means that we have something to look forward to every single month. This one's a bit technical. It's about the Hytale Foley studio, which I can go ahead and tell you. They explain all about what this is in the blog post. I don't know much about this type of stuff though. I'm not very versed in film and how all that stuff is done. I've never taken any classes on it, but we're here to learn. We're here to see how Hytale's progressing. So let's just dive right into it. So if this is your first time tuning in to one of these Hytale blog updates on the channel, basically I'm just going to read through the post, give some thoughts about it, some opinions, some predictions for the future, and hopefully spur up some discussion about Hytale and how it's progressing. So to begin, Foley is a process by which ordinary objects are used to create the sound effects you hear in TV shows, films, and video games. In this post, we're going to review how Hytale sound designer Kieran Fitzpatrick goes about creating audio for everything from weapon swings to creepy creatures. Consider this a follow-up to our previous blog about sound design, which focused on how post-processing and editing is used to turn raw audio into in-game effects. Today, we're showing off how all of that raw audio comes to be. This one's all about audio, so please wear headphones. That's my recommendation to you all as well. Put on your headphones right now if you don't have it. Pause the video right now if you need to. Okay, let's get into it. So, the final 2 clips in this post involve in-game insects, including spiders. So if you're afraid of spiders, if you have arachnophobia, that goes for all of you. You might want to stop scrolling. I'll tell you when to stop in the video as well if you don't want to hear that type of stuff. It's really considerate of them to put it at the end, which is nice. Hypixel Studios is a remote team, and so Kieran's process begins in his home recording studio using a variety of household objects to create sounds that are implemented into the game in all sorts of different ways. So while I said I'm not well versed in this type of stuff, I have seen YouTube videos about people creating sound effects for different things and how they do it, and there's some creative things people can do for this type of stuff. Like there's a basic stuff like hitting things to make different banging sound effects. There's like ruffling a bag in order to create some sort of staticky sounds. I don't know, there's all sorts of crazy stuff you can do. Let's see. So here's the first one, using a basket, which is a classic for sound effects. Okay, well, that is Foley. It looks silly, and it certainly does look silly in my opinion, but it leads to some really creative sound effects being made that you wouldn't expect to work as well as they do. Also, I don't want to know how expensive that mic is, because it's definitely more than I can afford. Recording takes place outside the studio too. Many of Hytale's ambient nature sounds begin as real-life recordings of forests, rivers, and other natural environments. Oh, I like that little boom mic they have going on there. Okay. While many of the vocal creature sounds in the game are produced by Kieran himself, we also make use of actors. In this case, Kieran's dog, Roland. Kieran, look at the camera, you're on TV. I guess that's how they get sound effects for things like wolves and other creatures in the game. I'm sure that you could also find sources for these types of sounds online, but if you make them yourself, you have full control over it. You don't have to worry about rights or anything like that, so that's always a nice thing. In the next set of clips, we're going to show how the audio recording process produces the sounds you hear in-game. We'll start with another set of creature sounds, in this case, cave bats. I love that. Oh my gosh. You know, I think it would be kind of fun if before watching this video you just heard like creature sounds and you had to guess what type of thing they did in order to make those sounds. Because I did not think that this is how they make the bat sounds. Bats are a unique sound to work on. Everyone thinks they know what a bat sounds like, but in actuality they emit ultrasonic sounds outside the range of frequency that humans can hear. To mimic this in an audible way, I knew it would require a prop that makes high frequency sounds. There's an infinite way to go about creating these, but I found that the balloon led to a good balance between cartoonish and comical versus expressive and bat-like. Even in instances where it is possible to record the desired effect for real, creative use of props can yield a more believable result. In the next clip, we're going to show how we create the sound of heavy footsteps in snow. That is so cool. I love this stuff. Then again, I love audio. My gosh, you wouldn't even be able to tell if you didn't see the source. And I feel like I've used this in my pharmaceutical preparations at pharmacy school. I'm in pharmacy school, by the way. How do I do YouTube on pharmacy school? Barely. Okay, cornstarch, the noisiest of the starches. We have used this. It's a good filler, or diluent. After experimenting with different powders, this provided the greatest crunch and squeaks. This is one of the layers used in the footsteps and became the base on which other layers could be added. Some things in real life sound very little like what is desired or expected. He continues, this is an example of a sound that needs to be designed or sweetened to achieve the hyper-realistic sound that most people associate with snow. Traditional snow recordings just weren't cutting it. Next, we're going to show how a highly designed sound can be created using Foley recordings as a base. Let's take a look at a treasure chest being opened both in real life and in the game. Okay, this brings an interesting point that I'm just going to go into just briefly real quick. It's interesting how people's thoughts about, like, memories about things, including audio and in certain cases how things look and feel, are so different from how it is in reality. And this is often seen with, like, in the snow sound effects that they have here, for example. Like, it was snowing around where I am. I live in sort of the southeast US, so it doesn't snow too often, but we got a little bit of snow fairly recently, and you could walk around outside in it, and you barely hear it when you walk around. It has to be super thick for you to really feel a crunch and hear a crunch, but when you walk around the snow, it's just like a soft little pad. Nothing near this designed sort of real tactile feel that the audio gives using the cornstarch method they have here. It's the same thing pretty often with visuals of certain things as well, though I'm not coming up with an example right now. Ah. Okay, so I feel like the chest real life, if they didn't adjust the audio in order to make it feel more game-like to fit Hytale, like this type of chest opening sound would fit well in a game like Dark Souls, in games with more realistic, slowly opening chests. They definitely gamified it a little bit, sped it up, changed the pitch a bit for Hytale, and it makes it fit pretty well, I think. I think it works fine. Recording your own source will always lead to a more original design. Finding a seed with which to start the process can sometimes be the most challenging part. Think of it like taking a photograph and then tracing over it with a pencil. The chest recording provides a rough shape and then layers that use to sweeten it and highlight other elements. Next, we're going to take a look at the humble origins of some of Hytale's weapon effects. They might not sound like the player in the previous clip was swinging a coat hanger, but you'd be surprised. Oh no, I have swung a coat hanger a lot, and it can sound like a sword going really fast, that's for sure. In fact, it's way easier to make a cartoony sword swing sound effect with something like a coat hanger, or not just like coat hangers, any sort of rod. Like if you take a stick and swing it really fast, you hear a whoosh of the air. It's pretty interesting, actually. Oh, okay. Wait. I want to see him swing the guitar. Who knows? Maybe there is a hidden like guitar item in the game that you whack something with and it makes an acoustic guitar hitting a table sound effect or something. But I think that's pretty cool that he used different sizes of objects to create a more weighty sound for more weighty tools and a lighter sound for lighter tools like knives and swords. Each of Hytale's weapon types has a distinct audio signature, and these begin life as original recordings using familiar objects. Recording your own props provides you more variety, Kieran says. If you choose to use the sound library, you're limited to what you're given. These recordings provide the base content for the weapon swings, he continues. Then using a number of sound design tricks and tools, coat hangers and dustpans were crafted into sharpened steel blades. The tools that Kieran uses to achieve this include pitch shifting, reversing the audio, equalization, reverb, and layering. The combination is different in each case. In the next clip, we're going to show how Hytale's creepier monsters are brought to life using a variety of unusual props. If you're not a fan of spiders, consider this your second warning. So if you hate spiders, then I guess we'll end the video here. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I hope you stick around for the next Hytale news updates. If you don't mind, then we're going to continue from here. Also, if you're a bell pepper, this one may be hard to watch. Oh boy, I think he's about to murder a bell pepper. Also, I just want to comment real quick. Some of these have creative sources and all this stuff, and they say it can be difficult to find a seed, and I'm sure it is. I do think that this is a fairly established field now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of sound effects have been used in movies and games by this point, that there's a lot of references you can use to help you find sort of tools that can help you make the correct sound effects, which I think is a good thing. I think all this info should be shared, people should have access to it, and work together to create better and better things. So I think it's really cool that this is a whole field that people work on. Let's get into spiders now, though. I like his unenthused face when he does this stuff. Man, spiders are creepy. I like spiders though. I don't hate spiders. I like spiders. I like the creepiness. It's like Minecraft spiders, in my opinion, have the creepiest sound effects of all the creatures. Also, I just realized that this guy's headphones, they're the exact headphones I have, Audio-Technica. So I feel justified. The goal of the spider effects was to make them as crunchy and nasty as possible, Kieran says. Vegetables are a tried and true method of recording gory sounds. I also recorded some paper and onion peel crumpling as it provided a more exoskeleton-esque sound. Listen closely to the hissing sound of the spiders, then go back and listen to the first clip in this post. The bending and flexing of a wicker basket is a secret ingredient in this effect. I used the tension of the wicker basket to morph the hissing of the spiders to create a more insect-like rhythm to the sound, Kieran says. So let's actually do that real quick. Let's listen to the hissing sound in here when it gets to the spiders. Let's get forward a bit. So that was the hissing, I believe, and let's go to the basket sound. Okay, I think I kind of get it. I can hear that. That's the basket. Okay. Finally, I'm going to answer a direct request from the Hytale community. While we are in the process of producing this post, Noxie happened to receive a pertinent question from a community member, Quebec Corner. Dang, I want to get featured on here. Too bad I don't use Twitter. Some people in our Discord server are wondering how you guys recorded the sounds of scarab egg nests. We'd be more than happy to show you. But beware, it's a little gross. Okay. He's going surgical. I like the zoom in. You know, I thought this sound was disgusting when I heard it. It's good to know that the sound is disgusting now that I know where it came from. Alright, I don't want to keep this going. This sound was designed with the purpose of being gross and uncomfortable to hear to alert the player that they're in the presence of the eggs. Kieran says, the styrofoam made squeaks and creaks similar to the high-frequency spider hatchlings. With the dog food inside, it also thickened up the sound. It turns out that this process actually produced sound close to the desired result without requiring much post-processing. Normally, sound requires a lot of massaging from the initial recording through to playback in-game. Scarab eggs were the exception to that rule. We hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the production of Hytale's audio. For more info on the story behind Hytale, Edge Magazine's article, which I might report upon soon. I know everyone else has already done that a while ago, but I haven't because I didn't want to buy a magazine, and also I didn't think about it because I'm dumb. But it's now available online for free. You can browse it yourself. I'll go into it later. If you missed it in print, now's the time to check out the in-depth look at Hytale's past, present, and future. Okay, so that was it for this Hytale blog post. A bit technical, a bit more about audio, and I don't really have that much to say about it other than that it's a pretty cool thing to get an insight into this type of process. And I guess that's the whole point of these blog updates, to get a look into the parts of game development for Hytale that you wouldn't think about. So, you know, in the past people criticize Hypixel Studios' transparency and clarity and all that type of stuff, communication, justifiably in my opinion for certain issues. However, I do think that now that they have it in stride, that they're consistently releasing blog posts about different aspects of game development, I think that that's really cool, and I think more game companies should do something like this. So that's it for this Hytale blog post. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a like, comment, or a subscription. They really do help out, especially on a small channel like this one who's hoping to grow based on Hytale stuff. That's all for now, and I hope to see you all on the next adventure.